Good evening. It is time. It is time. We're getting ready to start here in just a minute. I want to welcome all of you tonight on this wonderful broadcast that we're going to have 30 to 45 minutes of some mind optimization. Let me see if I can get this right here. Make sure that I got this, turn it off. Some mind optimization, some spirit recalibration, some focus restoration, some courage building for the weary. Welcome to our community. Let's give problem gambling a death blow. Who's with me tonight? We're broadcasting live out of Stockton, California. I'm excited to be here. I hope that you're excited to be here. We're gonna take on a few questions tonight. I promise you, hang out with me. We're gonna get through this. Yes, I know that this is gonna be a tough 30 to 45 minutes. It's gonna be a grueling 30 to 45 minutes, my friends. But I promise you, hang tight. We're going to get through this. Okay. We're going to talk about, we're going to discuss, we're not going to talk about, we're going to discuss some very, very hot, or a hot topic. And of course, that hot topic is problem gambling and what in the world is really going on today with our mind. My friend, I hope that you're coming here to take a few notes. I'm going to invite you to open up your spirit and participate with us. We're broadcasting, live streaming, Facebook. No, we're doing Twitter tonight. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to Facebook. I am Santos Jr., the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist. You could care less about that title. It makes me feel good, so I say it. I'm going to be taking on your question, but I have a few questions that I want to ask you. Okay. I want to welcome Abstraction here. Don't stop believing. Pickled 76. And then there's Emily. There's a few others that are probably joined a little bit late. And then there is Jim. All right. A new mantra every day. I enjoy improving myself. There we go. Now we're going to read. I'm glad that you're here tonight on this broadcast because guess what tomorrow is? Can you guys guess what tomorrow is? Think about what tomorrow is for a minute, okay? Think about that one with me. I'm sure you guys all know what tomorrow is, but tomorrow will be a difficult day for many people. I got to read the proverb before I go on, and then we're going to talk a little bit about this. If you were not gambling, this one question, and we'll just kind of dive into it. If you were not gambling, what is one thing for the weekend that you would definitely do? If you were not gambling, what is one thing? Okay, I want participation in this community tonight. Please participate. Gambling. There we go. We're having some technical difficulties. Bear with me. Hopefully it'll get better. Oh, thank you for the man. I got to read this. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. I want to say this. I did leave the casino today and lost money, but it's not just that. I feel like I can't concentrate anymore. I ache. I feel sick and my motivation is nil. How do I start over when I feel like it's over? I understand where you're at right there. I'm not in your shoes, but we're going to talk about this a little bit. All right. By the way, thank you for that. We're the problem gambler is moving into very dangerous territory very quickly. So we need to really discuss this topic tonight. But before I do, I want to read this proverb. Hold not thy peace, O God of my praise, for the mouth of the wicked For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. Now, I want you guys to think with me for a moment here. What one thing you could start doing? And I'm gonna kind of encourage Bad Keith Gaming to think about this with me, because my friends, we're being deceived. We're being, you know what? We are being played like an instrument made out of wood. I'm going to be a little bit harsh tonight on this broadcast, because it's the truth that I've been discovering more and more in my own personal life, with personal experiences and failures and successes. I'm telling you, my good friend on the other side, community member, I want you to think about this question here for a moment. If you were not gambling, what is one thing for the weekend that you would do definitely? We are being played like a toy. Our emotions are being played on. We are actually believing that we're in control. I don't believe that we're in control most of the time anymore. I don't believe that we are in control most of the time anymore, unless you begin to recognize what is really happening. I don't want to go too deep into all of this, but I really want you to think about one thing this weekend. One thing. And I'm going to encourage writing down ideas, because, my friends, listen, the problem gambler is headed down a really bad territory. The world, it's getting darker. And it's not darker. The people are becoming more stoic in their nature. Are you noticing this? The marketers that are out there marketing for these casinos, they are stoic in their nature. They want to get into your pocketbook. They don't care about your peace. They don't care about the fact that you might lose your job. They don't care about the families being torn apart. They don't care about any of that. They don't care about people hemorrhaging because they can no longer control their banking. They don't care about these things. They don't care. They're playing on your emotions. Whoever's the puppet master they're controlling. And this is so important, my friends. You got to think of one thing. Weekends are so hard for people. Weekends. And I already gave you the second answer there. I shouldn't have done that. Santos, shame on you for doing what you just did. I'm troubled. My friends, I'm troubled in my spirit. I'm very troubled in my spirit from what I'm seeing. I'm troubled in my spirit for some of you that come to my channel. I'm troubled in my own spirit for myself, because I see, ever since I moved away from gambling, and I began, probably I would say within the last year, I began to really see the deception and the lies and the hypocrisies that are deceiving you and me, because we're in this together, right? I said, my God, how am I going to get this message out to people and let them know, warn people about this? Weekends are the toughest. Weekends are the most hardest for people. Anyways, I'm just going to do my best. I'm going to do my very best every single day to help people get free, because I know how hard it is, and I know how hard it's getting for folks, and it's going to get harder. I'm telling you, it's going to get harder for some people, and some people are not going to make it out. Some people are just not going to make it out. Anyhow, let me focus on what you guys got here. I hear you, man. I hear you, man. It's emotionally devastating. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I love to wake up with peace. It's for me, the one thing on the weekends, of course, I'm far from gambling. Gambling's a lie, a big fat lie, right? To me, it is. I don't play around with gambling. Gambling has no control over me, none. Those strings from the puppet master, I've cut them all off. Those strings they no longer can pull on my emotions. They can no longer plant seeds, thoughts in my mind because I've cut them. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys. If you're willing, to come along with me, if you're willing to come on this journey with me, I'll help you cut the strings. But you're going to have to do the snipping. I'll help you, but you're going to have to do the snipping. Or else, my friend, you're not going to find that one thing that you need to be doing on the weekends. I want you to think about that. Weekends are the hardest, right? They are the hardest. I'm going back to scripture. I'm going back to scripture here. Who was that? We're on the cross. That's right. I like to imagine that any possible roadblock in our journey is not going to stop us from reaching what we set our minds to. Yes, we imagine that any possible roadblock in our journey is not going to stop us from reaching what we set our minds to. We all have roadblocks, right? Jim, you have your own roadblocks. I have mine. We all have different roadblocks. But the one of the most important things that we need to be focused in, and if you don't know, if you don't understand where the sources that are manipulating you, where they're coming from, it's going to be really hard to defeat the habit inside yourself. Does that make sense? There's a lot of outside sources that are influencing you. Do you know what they are? Can you identify them? If you can't identify them, you're not going to be able to defeat anything within yourself. And I'm telling you, my friend, this influence from the outside, especially on weekends, man, during the week, it's not as tough, at least for some. It is difficult. Meditate, pray, meditate, stay away from MSM. This whole society has brainwashed us into living in fear, doubt, and uncertainty. We've got to get mad as hell and proclaim that we will not take it anymore. I'm telling you, Jim, you hit the nail right on the head. Here's what's really sad. Here's what's really sad. We need to start with simple things. Imagine the people that are in the hospitals today. Think with me. There's many people in the hospitals today because of their mind, because of the thinking process. It went in a different direction for them. They were actually brainwashed, like most of us, right? We don't want to admit that. We don't want to admit we've been brainwashed from children. Our parents, our fathers, our mothers, our siblings, relatives, we've been brainwashed. We over that portion of our life, we didn't have any control, right? We had all kinds of external sources coming at us. We have no control over that. I look back today and I see a lot of horrible areas where I was influenced. And 30 or 40 years later, those influences that brainwashed me back then still pop up today. And the more that I recognize, the more I can become better, right? It's about recognizing. One thing that I'm going to recommend, I'm just going to throw this in here on weekends for problem gamblers. One thing is take some time for yourself to reflect on your life. Take some time to reflect on your life. Who are the people in your life? What's your environment look like? If you're struggling and you're drowning and you don't have any peace and you don't have any sense of direction and you feel like your world is crumbling You got to get away. You got to get yourself apart and take a glimpse at your life. You see, the distractions and the manipulations and all of these things are set up to keep you away from focusing on your life, my friend, on the other side. Because if you focus on your life, right, if we focus on our lives, then we'll get somewhere and we'll be able to see, wait a minute, I don't like this thing over here. I don't like the way that I'm feeling with this thing. Every time that I come close to this thing, or any time that I go to this environment, or even get close to this type of environment, this is, pardon my vanilla, but this is fucking me up. And do I want this in my life? Man, I already got enough problems as it is. I already got enough addictions as it is. Do I really want to be bringing all these other things in? We have to look. We must. Would you guys agree that we have to take a look at ourselves? Really just take the time. That's a good idea, right? Get the weekend, go on a retreat. Take 30 minutes for yourself, an hour for yourself, go on a retreat, or better yet, go on an advance and look at your life. Look at the circumstances, right? Look at what's happening. I hear this all the time. I want to stop, but I can't. I've tried, but I can't. I feel like I want to kill myself, right? I want to end it all. I feel so confused. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't feel like living. It's over. Where is that coming from? Is that really coming from inside yourself, or is that coming from the outside sources that are forcing you to do the things that you don't want to do, and it's causing you to think that way? I hope this makes sense to somebody. I hope this makes sense, because I'm telling you, Jim, you said it. You said something here. I don't feel control because I relive this weekly. I hate the casino. Pardon my language. I fucking hate it. But I keep going. Why is it? Because you're being manipulated, my friend. You're being manipulated. You are being played. I'm going to tell you the truth. You're being manipulated. There's a source out there. Now, again, if you want to stop gambling, right? If you want to stop gambling, because if you don't want to stop gambling, it doesn't matter. The manipulation and the persuasion and all the lies and all of those things are going to work very heavily upon your mind and upon your emotions. These things know that you need money. These things know that you might be bored. These things know that you're not completely focused. These things know that you're not really looking at your life. So you're distracted. So they get in there and they continue to distract you. And you're just following. You're following. Stop to think. Stop to think, am I in control of this situation, or do I feel that something else or someone else puppet master? You got to ask yourself. And if you see it, now you can begin to make change. Now you can begin to make change. All right, my friends, let me see. I listened to Michael and a year daily podcast. I listen 5 times. I fall in sin. I get back up and listening. And yeah, we have to get better. Would you agree that we have to get better? If we're doing the same thing over and over, there's a problem there. And you know what? We have to admit, I'm going to tell you something. Those of you that are here, you know me, you've seen me for several years. You know, I'm seeing some really ugly things in my own life today. Some really ugly things that I didn't know were there. And why am I confronting these things? Because I have to confront these things in my life, because if I'm going to work with people and I don't know how to work with people, what's going to happen to my business? And I'm telling you today, to work with people, you have to really, really know and understand humanity. And humanity is living in fear. Humanity is living in a state of confusion. And unless we understand these things and we get better, we're only going to add to the confusion. We're going to add to the mess. And things are just going to backfire. Have you ever felt like you got a good heart, you want to do good, and things just keep backfiring? They keep backfiring. we got to work on ourselves. We have to work on ourselves. Man, I tell you, my friends, community, I see so much darkness in my own life. And I know that you guys see it in your own lives. And we have to work on it. Anyways, we're into the broadcast here. We are facing technology at its finest. Deception, tricks, manipulation, tugging at our emotions, painting images into our thoughts, right? Where they're robbing us of our finances. They're robbing us of our peace, because if you don't have money, you don't have peace. They're robbing us of our relationships, and we're allowing it. If we're living blindly, if we're just living blindly, we're allowing it. What out of your weekend rituals, which one benefits most? Peace of mind or confidence to take more risks? Out of your weekend ritual, which one benefits most? Peace of mind or confidence to take more action? That one thing that you do on weekends to keep you away from the casino, what benefits the most? Your peace of mind or your confidence to take more action on other things? You got to know how to feed the good within. Because if you don't feed the good within, you're going to feed the bad within. And then you're going to be frustrated. You're not, I mean, it hurts to say that, but it's the reality. It hurts to say that, but it's the reality. Oh, wow. Thank you for these words, and I will watch your other videos as well. I appreciate you talking to me directly, because nowadays I don't feel like I don't have anyone that understands. Thank you, sir. This would have went to the casino, but I am giving it to you. And you know what? I want to thank you for that, because this is going towards this community to help push this message. Believe me, there's a lot of people coming and they're going, and there's a lot of people leaving because I'm hitting people. I'm not trying to hit you hard. I'm just trying to open your eyes. I'm doing my best to try to open your eyes as my eyes are being opened even more, because there's a lot of people that are going to fall. They're going down. They're going to end up in a hospital. They're going to end up under medication for thoughts, because they're not going to be able to control their mind anymore. And once you can't control your mind anymore, I'm telling you, my friend, you're done. You're done. You will be locked away. You will be put away in a hospital. That's the end result. And believe me, I think this for myself too. I think this for myself. So we have to guard. We must guard, right? We must guard. We must. We must. Thank you for that. We can get better every day. Big or little, we can get better. It doesn't matter where we exactly. We have to believe this. We must believe this. Yeah. We must believe this. Exactly. Gambling, porn are false idols like golden calves. Can you guys understand? I know that we've been talking a lot about gambling, but can you understand what I'm getting at here? It's not just gambling. It's not just gambling that's deceiving us. We're deceiving ourselves also if we're not careful. Because if we neglect what we feel inside, if we neglect what we're hearing inside of us, if we continue to neglect that, we will be walking blind in this world, and we will be the pawn of the puppet masters. We will no longer hear our conscience. We will no longer be moved by hunches inside of ourselves, but we will be pawns, and we will be continuous puppets for the puppet masters out there in the world. Believe me, they're getting better. They're getting better. These people out there, these machines, this technology, all of this is getting and we gotta know this, because if we don't know this, they're going to get so ahead of us that we're waking up every single day doing the things that we hate to do. We're going to be miserable, in pain. Everything's going to begin to break, and we're not going to really know why. We're not going to have an understanding of why. Well, I'm sharing with you. It's deception. Worldwide. That's one of the major reasons. Would you be open to substitute something different for your weekend? Would you be open to substitute something different for your weekend? And what would that be? If you were to change a ritual that keeps you going positively during weekends, if you were to change it, what would that ritual be? We got to change things up, right? The human evolutionary laws or needs, human needs, indicates that we get bored after things after a while. We got to have variance. There's got to be change. There's got to be something different. What would that be for you? You're going to have to come up with that one for yourself, my good friends. All right. Well, we've had a few visitors. I want to thank Twitter. I want to thank Facebook for being a part of this discussion. It's hard, my friends. It's hard. It's a hard journey. I admit. I try to make it easy. I try to make it simple, but it is a hard journey. The thing is, it's doable, though. It's doable. That's the possible thing. It's doable. And if we stick together, right? Unity, we stick together. Divided, we will fall. We got to overcome the pride, inside of ourselves, all of those things, all of those negative, the shadows. We all have them. I was listening to Mr. Green earlier today, and he talked about the stars, right? They're the ones that are out there. They're like bright lights. And every once in a while, you catch them doing something really bad. Oops, their shadow came out at the wrong time, at the wrong place. Well, guess what, my friends? Guess what, community? We all have shadows. My shadow probably has come out on this broadcast. Maybe some of you have noticed my dark shadows. I can't hide my failures. I can't hide my faults. You got to work through them. You got to work through them, my friend. You got to work through them. You must work through them. Why? Because we can. Because we can. Don't be ashamed of yourself. Don't be ashamed of your failures. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't be ashamed of what you might be trying to do, even though somebody might be laughing. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of yourself. Because if you do, then you're only listening to the dark shadow inside yourself, and that dark shadow will bring you down. Bring you down. Face the demons. Face the shadows. Do it in a methodical way. Do it with help. Do it with precision. And make sure that you're moving forward, even if it's just little by little, but you're going forward. I don't care what this person over here is. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they look over, but you're going forward little by little, little by little. All right, my friends, partner with me. That's my call to action. Partner with me, support this mission. I want to thank you, those of you that have donated, Jim, Bad Keith Gaming. There's been a few others that have contributed financially to this. And believe me, you know what? I really appreciate your giving. It's from your heart. Money comes from the heart, right? It's your wallet. It's not easy to give. It's not. Especially today, you give the people. The other day, I was trying to help somebody, family. They turned around and burned me. They burned me. Okay, another lesson learned. It was a money thing. Okay, all right. Live and learn. I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again that I did. I learned from it. So I thank all of you guys that contribute. You're a partner here. Man, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you get some of this energy that I have in me right here so that you can overcome and have some peace of mind and sing karaoke. If you want to sing karaoke live internationally like I do once in a while, I don't care. I don't care about a lot of I don't care. Why? Because that's exactly what the thing does, right? It puts you in a state of, oh, I care. I'm cautious. I'm doing that. No. Make yourself free. Create your world. Use your imagination. Be playful. Smile as much as you can. And face the reality. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up. right? Fucked up. You can't fix it if you don't admit it, right? You can't fix what you don't see, what you can't see. And I tell you, I hope I'm doing my best. I hope that I'm doing my best to help you guys see your best and what it is that you can do, what you can be. All right. Bad Keith, thank you for hanging out. Abstraction, thank you for hanging out. Sometimes we have to create physical barriers. Not sometimes, we actually have to create. Yes, we must. That's a good idea that you brought it up. We must create physical barriers. That's right. That's what this community is for, by the way. Soldiers of Self-Mastery community is a barrier. The more time that we can spend together in this positive environment, developing ourselves and learning new things and figuring out how to, clean ourselves up, right? The crap that we do on ourselves, whatever, we're going to get stronger. We will become better. And tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, you'll look back and you'll say, man, I'm glad that I hung out. I'm glad that I was able to work with Santos. I'm glad that I'm glad that I made a decision. And I'm glad that I told myself that I'm going to believe in myself, because, what else is there? If I don't tell myself to believe in myself, I'm going to tell myself the opposite. And you can't afford that, right? Can you afford to tell yourself the opposite of what you need to be saying to yourself every morning, at night, during the day, when shit hits the fan? When shit hits the fan, right? What are you saying to yourself? That's when it rubber meets the road, right? It's easy to get excited and say, yeah, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the other thing and all that. But what happens when you get burned? What happens when that business deal goes sour? What happens when they told you that they were going to show up and they don't show up? What happens? And it just happens one day, 2 days, 3 days. Laura. All right, my friends, 32 minutes. We're going to be winding down here. All right. Let me see. Pickled 76, thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you. I appreciate your presence. Those of you that were watching, small crowd, it is what it is. By the way, we no longer have the Thursday live broadcast. We're not going to do that. We're only going to have Sundays, 30 to 45 minutes. Maybe we may pick up another weekday. I'm just not getting enough activity to keep these things going. So we're going to work on Sunday. We're going to be putting 2 powerful to 3 powerful videos every week. We're going to be sending out emails. We've got a plan. I'm going to be we're still working on GABA. We've got some other things in the works. I'm thinking about a lot of challenges that I've been through. Never mind those things. You and I keep going forward. We take what we have today and we just make the best out of it, right? That's what we have. That's what we have. So thank you guys. Jim, once again, Laura there that showed up there. Emily, didn't get Emily here. Emily, Pickled Abstraction, Jim, and who else? Bad Keith Gaming. Brother, I'm here for you. You right there in the if you need to send an email, if you got something going on, send me an email. I do offer one-on-one coaching. I am doing one-on-one coaching. I'm willing to take on 2 or 3 coaching personnel during the month. If you're interested in something like that, yes, that is a small financial investment. But if you want to sit down with me, you want me to help you be accountable, you want me to help you achieve your goal, you want me to sit with you at least 1 hour, 2 hours a week to help make sure that you are holding yourself accountable, I'm willing to do that for you. You can hit me up below if that's something that money's a tool. Remember that. Money's a tool. We can always work something out. Money's a tool. If money, I use money to advance myself, right? I use money. I pay for education. I still pay for education because Some people know tricks. Some people know things that when you're in their presence, they can really, through questions, they can really open you up and release you fast so that you can advance faster. That's the dynamic of coaching or mentoring. There's a dynamic energy, a very, very transformational, powerful energy when you're in the presence of somebody coaching. So therefore, I offer you that. And let me get a few more comments here. Anybody else? So I'll leave you to think about what I shared. Abstraction says, I have not gone back in the last 2 weeks. Maybe you should give your car keys. Someone. Yeah, accountability, right? You got to accountability, give someone your car keys. Again, my friends, we got to recognize, I've said this over and over, and I'm not going to repeat myself. We're being deceived. We're being deceived. We're being tricked. And if you don't accept that, if you don't understand that, then you're going to continue to be tricked and you're going to continue to be deceived. We have to open our eyes. It's time that we open our eyes, isn't it? It really is. I have a friend of mine, sheriff, 25 to 30 years, law enforcement. He's doing 11 years in prison. His eyes are fully open today. He's understanding what went on. But unfortunately, he had to spend now 11 years in prison, 10, 11. He's probably going to be doing 10 years now because he's been in almost a year. Yeah. Santos, you warned me and my car finally broke down after driving 3 hours to casinos. I was 2 miles from home. Well, I don't want anybody's car to break down. You know, that's, oh man, that's a big snot right there when somebody's car break down. And if it's the only one that you have, you know. Let me see who, there was a couple more. Am I in the military? Yes, I'm in the military, Mark. I'm in the Soldiers of Self-Mastery military. I'm a veteran. I'm an 8-year combat veteran. Yes. There is so much more. By the way, thank you for the question, Mark. I always like those questions. How are you in the military? This is so much more than the action of gambling. This is our roots that are damaged and toxic. My friends, we're getting fucked up. The problem gambler is in serious, serious predicament. There's only two paths. There's the path of mental destruction and there's the path of freedom. You got to discern which one you're headed. You must discern which one you're headed down. Want to get it out of Laura says, I keep trying. I finally quit the one casino. It took a while. Well, I hope that you filled in that void, Laura. You got to fill in that void because there's a deep void there. This is so, man, this is so deep right here. This is so deep. Our roots are damaged. I'm going to be ending here. My friends, there's people that are crying tonight. There's people that have tears in their heart tonight because they don't know what to do. They're so confused. They've gone so far. They're crying. They might be sitting in a car, under a bridge somewhere, or they might be sitting at home in their house or their apartment, but they're getting ready to lose it. It's just a matter of days, maybe, or hours. They're crying. They're crying. They went too far. They didn't discern. Somehow, somebody didn't get in their path. Somehow, somebody wasn't there to warn them. Like, I kind of remind myself of, well, I'm not a John the Baptist, but I'm like one crying in the wilderness. I am. There's two paths. And you must discern the path that you're on before it's too late. All right, that's all I have. I want to thank you guys once again. I think Twitter, looks like the numbers are climbing. Twitter, Facebook, possibly, maybe. I'm not going to repeat myself because I'll repeat myself and that won't be a good thing. So I appreciate all of you guys. I'll take on one more question. If not, I'm going to remind you of the question that we thought or we brought into the topic we discussed. If you were not gambling, what is one thing for the weekend that you would definitely do? All right. All right. There we go. His grace enables us. All right, my friends. Well, until my next broadcast or my videos, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Please, I invite you, all of you that are watching, I would invite you to watch the videos. They're 3, 5, 6-minute videos. Watch them completely. I know I'm asking you to do something hard. Watch the 6 minutes completely. Watch the video again if you have to. I promise you, it's going to help you get free. Peace through strength. I'll see you at the top on the inside on my very next one. And remember to make your day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top. In spite of and because of.